The basic emotions are six. Like in the case of color, whatever we see on the screen now, the basic colors are only three: R, G, B, red, green, and blue. The combination of these three colors blending together creates millions of beautiful colors. Similarly, emotions: happiness, sadness, fear, disgust, anger, and surprise. The psychologists say these are the six basic emotions, and a blending of these six in whichever proportions that we use will express something far deeper than these basic emotions. Combining different feelings, etc. Any emotions that we carry, ultimately our body, our mind, our behavior. These three aspects form a triad, and they affect each other. If your body is comfortable, if you're not overfilled, if you're not underfed, if you're not hungry, we're not, bloated, yes, it will affect how we respond. Like when I teach in the afternoon, if the lunch has been very good, especially in the corporate training, the classes don't go well because people are sleepy. They have no more interest. If the lunch is light, comfortable, they pay more attention. And we can see this over and again. Similarly, if you talk something which is cheerful, we spend the cheer within us also, not only outside. I request you to play that lullaby.
Shuddhosi buddhosi niranjanosi samsara maya parivarjitosi samsara swapnam tyajya mohanitram madala solla panuvacha putram Shuddhosi reta tanatesti nama kritam hite kalpanaya dhunaiva panchatmakam dehamidam natesti naivasya tvam rodishikasya hetu.
This is Queen Madalasa singing to her infant, telling that Shuddhosi, Buddhosi, Niranjanosi. You are pure, enlightened, and spotless. Leave the illusion of the world and wake up from this deep slumber of delusion. So what a message. What a stroke. We are talking about stroke today. It is an extremely beautiful, so kind and so loving, positive stroke. So I started telling Jai Hind. That is the typical defense style. When we meet each other, we say Jai Hind. A bold, nice, warm feeling. So we all meet each other. We say good morning, irrespective of what the state is, what the news says. There are so many ways we greet each other. I found somebody telling namaskaram. Beautiful. So another 1 minute, I request the participants just to mention in the chat how you would greet in your culture, in your society, at home, in the workplace, each other. P. Vasant Kumar says namaste. Nirmal Agarwal says Hare Krishna. A guest says Jai Shri Ram. Neha, namaste. Jai Jinendra. Mahadev, namaskar. Pranam, Hari Om, Jai Seva, Namaskar Mandi, Jai Shri Krishna, good morning, Radhe Radhe, also Sharano. Beautiful. Now what is happening here is that we can add. We already seen, sometimes people say Sat Shri Akal, Jai Ramji Ki, Ola Ketal Kekalor. Ola is hello, not O-L-A, H-O-L-A. Ketal means how are you? How hot it is. The moment people meet, especially the British are known to complain about the rains when they meet. Many stories about that. So it is in addition to telling something orally, we are also doing something in action when we meet each other. Sometimes we fold hands, okay, beautiful. Sometimes we bow our head. Sometimes the whole body like the Japanese do. Shake hands. Kiss on the cheeks, hug. We know when Prime Minister Modi went to SCO, he shook hands with Z but hugged Putin. Different messages. Now, in addition to that, when I was in the defense long back, a Punjabi friend asked me, how do you greet in Kannada? I said, we don't. I was wrong. We do greet each other, but different way. We don't say good morning or good evening. We don't say namaste. In Bangalore, especially, one common thing when we meet in the morning, people generally ask, coffee aita. Had your coffee? Sometimes it just comes to coffee. Sometimes it comes to tindi. So, whichever way we speak, whatever we say, what is the content? What is the purpose? The content itself, the meaning of the content, like if somebody asks me coffee, I don't take coffee. If I tell that no, I don't take coffee ever, will it be okay? The response will not be correct because he is not interested really whether I had coffee or not. He is only telling that I care. I see you. I recognize you. I see your presence. It matters to me. So whatever we do, whether we touch feet or prostrate, ultimately it is an action of stroking, conveying some warmth and respect even in conflict. Like our Prime Minister did with Z, there is a big conflict raging for decades, but still, even in the conflict, we show in the public, we show when we meet each other, okay, let us keep them aside. So these are all strokes that we exchange. Love is exchanged transactionally through strokes. So the simplest strokes which you do automatically is to greet each other. Again, to repeat what we just said, the strokes can be physical or verbal, positive or negative. So simple. We unknowingly and knowingly exchange strokes when we communicate. There are various ways. For example, when you say that we exchange strokes by action. When we meet each other, like the shaking hands, patting the shoulder or the back, touching the head, touching the cheeks, whatever. There are various ways, and each one has got a different layer of intimacy that is expressed. Another level of love that we express is part of our culture world over. We express emotions. And emotions, the basic emotions are only 6. There can be sub-emotions. The basic emotions are 6. Like in the case of color, whatever we see on the screen now, the basic colors are only 3, R, G, B, red, green, and blue. The combination of these 3 colors blending together creates millions of beautiful colors. Similarly, emotions, happiness, sadness, fear, disgust, anger, and surprise. The psychologists say these are the 6 basic emotions. And a blending of these 6 in whichever proportions that we use will express something far deeper than these basic emotions. Combining different feelings, etc. Now let us get back to another situation when we express, when we are emotionally dried out or emotionally disturbed. There's a great book which I've read at least 10 times, Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance. When the author Mr. Persig wanted to publish it, 107 publishers rejected it, telling that, oh, it is not worth reading. Nobody will read it. When it was published, it broke all the records. However, the thing is that Monday morning, these people are traveling by 2 bikes, 4 people. Sylvia, the friend of this author, looking at the people traveling by car in the opposite direction, says, the first one looked so sad, emotions in the morning. And the next one looked exactly the same way. And then the next one and the next one, they were all the same. They were just coming to work. There was nothing unnatural about it. Well, work. Monday morning, half asleep. Who goes to work Monday morning with a grin? It is just that they look so lost, like they were all dead, like a funeral procession. When I read that, okay, what hit me? Right in the morning, first thing, drooping face, sad, how will our day be? If you only think of the negative issues, negative happening, if you feel depressed right in the morning, our day is not going to be good. We don't want to go to graveyard, or we don't want to think of graveyard every day. We want to be cheerful. We look forward to work. We look forward to learning. We look forward to teaching. We look forward to interacting, whatever it is. So we should not be creating a toxic environment for ourselves and for the people around us, because what we feel, what we do, what we express, it affects others. So let us be very careful about the emotions and be aware of our own emotions because it ultimately affects others. And it is not only affecting others, it affects us deeply. Any emotions that we carry, ultimately our body, our mind, our behavior. These three aspects form a triad and they affect each other. If your body is comfortable, if you're not overfilled, if you're not underfed, if you're not hungry, we're not, bloated, yes, it'll affect how we respond. Like when I teach in the afternoon, if the lunch has been very good, especially in the corporate training, the classes don't go well because people are sleepy. They have no more interest. If the lunch is light, comfortable, they pay more attention. And we can see this over and again. Similarly, if you talk something which is cheerful, we spend the cheer within us also, not only outside. So the language we speak, the thoughts we nurture, the way we nurture our own body, everything affects the whole well-being. Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna says, Vepatuscha sharire me, Roma harshascha jayate, Gandivam samsate hastat, Tvakchaiva paridakhyate. Arjuna is known as Gandivi. And in the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita, he says, Gandivam samsate hastat. I'm not able to hold my Gandiva. I'm not able to hold my weapon, which is dearer to me than life. My body trembles. My hair stands on end. My bow Gandiva slips from my hand and skin burns all over. So what has caused it? His emotions. Emotions. Bhishma is standing in front of me. Drona is standing in front of me. My cousins, my relatives, my uncle, on and on he keeps telling. What happens? Brahmati vacha me manaha. My mind is confused. I do not know what is happening to me. What happens to students in the exam hall? The pen slips. We sweat in the hand. We are not able to read the answer correctly. We are not able to respond properly. Something is asked, we talk something totally different. So the emotions can play havoc. They can create havoc. The amount of tricks they play on us is huge. And can we control it? Can we improve on these emotions? Can we be emotionally literate? Adding to the things, what else can happen because of the emotions? Uncontrolled and fed with the junk food, junk thoughts, junk behavior. The kind of reactions, eating. Emotional eating is a big problem. When you're upset, we eat. When you're happy, we eat. We drink to drown our sorrows. We drink to celebrate. You can observe those who are emotionally disturbed sleep more. Some people sleep very less. Sleeping disorder. Some people sleep 12 hours, 14 hours, 18 hours a day because they are depressed. Depression can cause oversleeping. Depression can also, deny our sleep. And another thing that is for the past 10, 15 years maybe, what would you like to do when you're bored? I go shopping. Shopping what? We buy things which are not needed, which gathers dust. Then we say, oh, what to do with that? Buy more things, another shopping. So what happens with all this, when we are affected emotionally, we become vulnerable. It is very easy, immunity is gone. The balance is gone. Then what it leads, we can see political violence. That young guy called Kirk, 31-year-old, has been killed. Whatever it is a political violence. And who killed? A third-year student, 21-year-old, shot and killed. School shooting that we hear. Road rage. You can see the number of fights that occur in a crowded street. So they're all the emotions which make us vulnerable. We can very easily catch the disease when our immunity is not good. We don't have to be hateful. We don't have to be loud and vulgar when we are disturbed. And that can be done only when our emotion is in balance. I listen to this NDTV. The political debates are mostly dirty. Don't like to listen to them. But one person stands out, Mr. Poonawalla from Congress Party. He talks for Congress, but I never seen him talking low, talking cheap, talking immature or illogical. So even in the time of disagreement, like we mentioned earlier, it is possible to keep the balance. Like if you go back to the time of Sindoor, when the operation was on for those 4 days, officially no politicians came on the land because their language is different. Who came and communicated to the country and the world were 2 officers from the defense and the secretaries from the government. And what they reported? Only fact-based information. No shouting, no raising of voice, no blaming the opponent, no enemy, no friend, just facts. So beautiful, so matured, very, very balanced emotions. Same time, if you had gone to the Pakistan's channel, it is the politicians who are speaking and speaking ill of India, blaming, creating a kind of scare within the country and the world. That is the difference of managing our emotions, knowing our own emotions, what you're talking out of. Am I talking out of anger? Am I talking of disgust? Am I talking out of love, hatred, etc.? Even today, you can compare the kind of language and the body language and the words that are used by especially two people, Mr. Trump and his assistant. Shiver Arul calls him a tech dog. Look at the kind of language they use. And the Indian leaders in public have never gone out of balance in expressing their emotion. That keeps us brave, that keeps us mature rather than cheap and silly. That is one aspect. Another thing is that we are having an attention factory. We are continuously feeding ourselves, okay, some attention is needed. Keep seeing where we can get support, where we can get confirmation, and then where do we go? When you go for this extra attention, that is because what attention we are seeking, what attention we need is denied to us. How it is denied, we are not getting. We assume that we are not getting the attention that we need because somebody who may expect some positive strokes to us is not giving it. And it is getting to that situation all over. And of course, when we read, when we watch, when we interact, the kind of understanding is very different. The facial expressions and the body language. Now there is so much more available as the body language, the facial expression, and the words spoken in addition to what is written. Decades ago, the only way we could get to the news was by reading the newspapers. Who reads newspaper now? At the time of Corona, I stopped buying newspapers thinking that, okay, it is affecting me badly. Now even more attacks are happening through the social media, through the news channels. Compare. We know the stanzas of Bhagavad Gita. We read out a couple of them. But do we know the full expressions of Arjuna or Krishna or Sanjay or Dhritarashtra? We don't know. 60-70% of the information that is conveyed, driven by the emotions, are in our body language. Now we have got a much bigger responsibility to handle our emotions because so much is exposed to us, far less than what it was earlier. So you got a greater responsibility when you consume this, when you seek this attention continuously. Why emotional literacy matters? We already seen emotional literacy will come further. The core skills in the emotional literacy, what we have to develop is knowing our own feelings. When you talk, before we talk, when you're upset or joyful, celebrating or grieving, first of all, it is a good thing to ask ourselves, what am I feeling? What am I feeling? Am I acting out of anger? Am I feeling ignored? Am I feeling honored? Is it just that I want to express something? If it is just that, okay, attention seeking like in the gossip, which can be very harmful. But then, why am I doing it? That is the first thing, knowing our own feelings. In this case, there is another great responsibility for parents and the teachers. So when a child comes home, throws the clothes out instead of keeping it neatly, ask the child to take bath or ask the child to clean the shoes, ask the child to clean his or her own plate after eating, say a little grown-up child, 10 plus. Sometimes the child will listen to the father or mother, do it cheerfully. Sometimes the child won't. Now, the children do not know how to recognize their feelings, their emotions, they don't know how to recognize. Instead of telling them, okay, look, I told you once, means I have told you 100 times. I'm not going to tolerate this disrespectful, indisciplined behavior. Come on, keep your clothes neatly, keep your plates, washed. But then a child who has been doing the things normally, attended to the homework, a nice child, suddenly you will find the nice child not to be doing the things correctly. Why does this happen? Because the child is not able to understand his or her own feelings. We have to help them to understand. You can sit quiet. For a while, silence is golden. Let the child recover himself or herself. Put him on the laps and say, okay, what is bothering you? You're not able to understand. Are you sad? Are you angry? The child might have been bullied in the class. Child might have been insulted by the teacher, name calling, telling that you're lousy, you're no good, good for nothing. The kind of injuries, the emotional injuries that the child faces outside world, not having been emotionally literate, it is not an easy task for the child to handle. So what we can do is that identify the feeling of the other person. What is told orally, what is shown, what is expressed physically is based on some action, feeling. You acted like this. You called me names. You pushed me aside. You threw my pencil box. Whatever it is, or you did not listen to me. One of the most common complaints the children have, you never listen to me. You don't hear me out. You're always thinking that, okay, I have to listen to you. I have to take orders then. We're not debating, we're not conversing. So this is very, very necessary when you're dealing with the children. Now that we're talking about the children, let me tell a story. About 20 years back, we went to a close relative's house in Mysore. And we were to leave after breakfast, we were to leave after lunch back to Bangalore. So a 10-year-old girl, call her name whatever you like, say Kirti, for example, not the real name. She came and told her father, who was immersed in the morning newspaper, telling that, Dad, I got 25 out of 25 in computers. He kept quiet, continued to read the newspaper. The child also went off. After a while, child was shirking. She was not responding much. She was very quiet. So people ignored typically. We're all busy with adult talks. The child was sidelined as if she doesn't exist. And because we have to leave early, 12 o'clock, they said, okay, let us have lunch so that you can leave early, not get caught by the bad traffic. Kirti said, I'm not hungry. I'm not eating. Why don't you eat? Don't behave like this. I'm having stomach pain. My stomach is aching. Probably her stomach was aching as a reaction to the snubbing from her father, not expressed. I don't care about you. You don't exist for me. News is more important for me than you getting 25 out of 25. Same thing if you was to get 24, should have been taken to task. Why don't you study well? I told you this. Who stood first in the class? Where do you stand? On and on and on. So this emotional beating that we give to our own people, husband to wife, wife to husband, our colleagues in the organization that we go to work, we make the atmosphere toxic. And each of us, each individual can improve it a little. And when we improve it a little, others respond with equal empathy and the things will improve. What is empathy? Recognizing others' feeling. All of us want to be understood, valued, and supported. Grounded in dignity, filled with meaningful connection. If there is no dignity, if it is an empty word, it is pity, it is not empathy. You say, oh, you had such a bad day in the school. It is pity, it is not empathy. You have not felt through it. In the mind of mind, you're telling, oh, what else? I had worse days in my school. No, we're not feeling it. Unless we feel it, the words will not come out very well. Like Ratan Tata, 2611, what happened in Taj Mahal Hotel? He felt that empathy and he visited victims personally. He was already a very big man then, but he was not big. He didn't think he was big. The world knew he is big. So we have to consider empathy and the dignity of the other person. If you're not able to honor, if you're not able to respect, let the other person keep his honor. It is not useful. Love. We have to create love, matured love. And should there be a situation, unknowingly or knowingly, we have hurt somebody else, it happens, we speak out. We hurt our children. We hurt our teachers. Teachers hurt the students, whatever it is. It is always good to reflect, okay, what have we done today? In the earliest opportunity, we should apologize. Apologizing is not complete telling, oh, I'm sorry. That is not an apology. It should be deep felt. And the cycle is complete only when the other person has accepted. You can do something and just say, sorry, please pardon me. It is up to me to pardon for the hurt feeling that I have done. Unless that is healed, unless there is at least attended to, unless I say, yes, I accept your apology, I forgive, the cycle is not complete. It is okay sometimes you have to leave it open. Unless this is done, the trust cannot be built. And if there is no trust, there is no emotional bonding. There is no real relationship. The foundation of the relationship is trust. I'll get back to another story. Long back, somewhere in 76 or 77, I was in Jamnagar. I knew a family, friends, and their daughter that time must have been 3 or 4 year old, maybe 5. Let us consider 5 year old Deepa, real name. I met Deepa again. We used to meet when she was about 35 or so, maybe a little less. Her daughter was around 5 year old. So I told Deepa, when I met you in Jamnagar, you were 5 year old. Deepa said, yes, uncle. Once when you came home, I told my parents that there is a snake in the kitchen. They didn't trust me. You trusted. When I told you that there is a snake in the kitchen, you came with me to the kitchen and there was a snake. Maybe a rat snake, not dangerous, whatever it is. At the age of 5, she sensed the trust which I showed, telling that, okay, if you are telling there is a snake, there could be a snake. I don't want to deny, be foolish by denying that. And that memory of age 5, she carried at the age of 35 when her daughter was 5. This is the impact of trust. Let us trust. We could be wrong 5% of the time by thinking the other person is wrong. But 95% of the time, we are doing the right things. I would like to be considered a fool 5 to 10% of the time rather than being a fool 90% of the time. So let us repair this emotional damage, apologizing, forgiving, and building trust in every opportunity. For example, MS Dhoni is known to have taken responsibility for all the defeats. He was not in the blame game. He became a better captain, better human being by just taking responsibility. That is another aspect of it. Blame game, passing on the blame to somebody else. Like we can see at least in Bangalore, the drivers on the road, especially the rickshaw drivers, the moment something wrong happens, they're on the defense. They're out to blame someone else. I'm not demeaning anybody. This is a general observation because people may be blaming them more. Also, this is a cycle. It's a kind of, wrong feedback, building of the same thing over and over again. There is something called opening the heart, power of strokes. Again, we talk about this stroke. Stroke starvation means we are not getting recognized for what we do or what we don't do, whatever it is. I'm not recognized. I don't exist. That is starvation. Neither positive nor negative. That is the worst thing. If you say, okay, this is good, I give a positive stroke, I wish you in the morning. Or if somebody doesn't care about our existence, that is depriving the stroke. If you fight, that is still okay. You're honoring me by disagreeing with me. You're honoring me by telling that, okay, you're a dirty old person. That is okay. Because you see, many a times you will see the people, especially the heroes in the public eye, if there is no positive publicity about them, they seek negative publicity. They create something by picking up a fight, by getting drunk, by abusing the drivers, by doing some nonsense. Do you know who I am? Because they need that. So whenever you see some unacceptable behavior, especially from the people who are considered heroes, they think that they're not getting sufficient positive stroke. So if not positive, let me have negative stroke. Some scam, some dirty news, some yellow pages. So there is stroke starvation. And the stroke starvation is made use of by the marketing agents very, very well. Fair and lovely. The people who advertise for the fair and lovely are already fair and lovely. Otherwise, they wouldn't have been taken for advertising. And others think, okay, people think I'm not fair, I'm not lovely. So I will take this fair and lovely and become fair and lovely. And who gains out of it? The marketing agents. So this stroke itself is used many ways for dirty business. Stroke starvation or denying a positive stroke. We'll get back to another story. Bharavi, Sanskrit poet of 6th century. They say Bharaver Artha Gauravam. Every word that he spoke, there is so much of Artha Gaurava, the respect for the words that he used. Every word full of meaning. At very young age, he started writing poems. And when he wrote this, whatever poetry he wrote, people recognized. He got a lot of warmth, lot of appreciation, but his father didn't. He used to say, it is a childish thing. No good, not good enough. So Bharavi was very hurt. One day he was thinking, okay, I should kill my father. In the first floor of the house, Atta in Sanskrit or in Kannada. He was waiting at the time of dinner, where his mother was serving his father, serving the dinner. He was sitting there on the Atta or above in the first floor with a big stone, thinking that he would crush his father's head with that stone by dropping it. Then mother asked Bharava's father that why are you so critical about Bharavi? He's so good. Why don't you appreciate him? The father said, if I appreciate, he will get spoiled. I know he's so good. I love him dearly. He will make my family name famous. Bharavi left the stone aside and came down, apologized. But then this is what we do, where it is due for us to appreciate something small and big, we ignore. We create stroke starvation, leading to depression, hostility. I suggest there is a story by name The Warm Fuzzy Tale, maybe about 500 words, by Claude Steiner. It's beautifully told about the effects of positive stroke, negative stroke, and no stroke at all. I won't talk the story now. So either we need warm fuzzies, if not warm fuzzies, the appreciation. It is okay to get even cold pricklies, but not ignoring. Again, Rabindranath Tagore's poems, if we read, the way he talks about love, especially for the children, it is so beautiful, so beautiful. And children thrive on love, not in fear. Again, there is a classic life stages which are explained by so many authors. I'm okay, you are okay. So what happens? The critical parents, they say you are not okay to the child. And the child fed with the idea of like, I'm not okay, becomes not okay. So there are some rules that we have to consider when we give strokes. Strokes means appreciation or disapproval, whatever it is. Can be in varying degrees, like when we said, okay, good morning, Jai Hind, Palago. Each one is an expression. Or when I meet somebody for the first time or meeting again, how do I greet physically as well? How do I deal with my child or with my grandchild? Okay, that's it. So what happens is that we have a situation of stroke economy. We are stingy. What happens? We do not give strokes that we would like to give, like Bharavi's father. He would like to say that, okay, Bharavi is so good poet, but he would not like to give, thinking otherwise. No, I don't want to appreciate my child. What will others think? Or on and on. He should be humble. I should be humble. No, don't hold back. If we prefer something, say okay, happily, yes. I went and parked my car in front of a parking lot of a hotel. The security guy came and said, "Good parking, sir." He was giving a positive stroke, a small little positive stroke. I felt so good. Here is a person who guided me to park the car in a tight place. And when I did that, he says, "Good parking, sir." It's a stroke. When you enter a gate of a building, a smile from the security guard can be a positive stroke. Some places the security guards, okay, show behind the car, this one, that one. I continuously see in some institutes, they are fighting with the students, the security guard, and this builds up. The place becomes toxic. Give strokes, appreciate something sincerely whenever there is an opportunity. Another thing is that we can ask for strokes. It is quite okay to say, okay, how do I look? How is my dress? How is my talk? How is my article? Share and seek strokes. Sometimes we may not get, but that will be a sincere information that is also valuable. Other person may not know how to give a stroke. You can seek a stroke. Another thing is that if it is just hollow, if it is superficial, not meaning much, Trump goes and says, okay, Modi is my best friend and increase the traffic from 25 to tariff from 25 to 50. We can very clearly reject that stroke. I do not need this empty stroke. I reject it. I'm not being taken for a fool. So we should be able to reject what we don't want. In the meantime, accept what we like. If somebody says, okay, you taught this subject very well. Somebody says, oh, no, there is nothing much about it. You say, you look good. Your shirt is nice. No, it is 25-year-old. Nothing great about it. I bought on the roadside. It is a stroke. Appreciating something sincerely, just accept it. Just a smile, just a thank you, more than enough. We have this problem in the Indian culture. If somebody gives a gift, no, don't open it now. They will think you are craving for it. In the Western society, whatever I have little seen, and which is coming into our society also now, when a gift is given, the first thing the people do, may I open it? Seeking permission. Naturally, the thing will be nice. Open it and appreciate sincerely, whichever way it is. So accepting strokes in more than one way is nice. Sometimes it may be just a smile. Sometimes it may be just an action. Sometimes it may be much deeper. But it is not a business. You have given me a gift, I will give you a gift of equal value in rupees. That is not a stroke. And more importantly, we have to appreciate ourselves. We have to give strokes to ourselves. I remember when I was in the Navy, the mirrors used to have a slogan. Mirrors, of course, after we dress up, the uniform has to be neat, tucked in well, everything is in place. And we would stand in front of the mirror to see that I am dressed okay or not. There's a very nice phrase written on the mirror. You are not fully dressed till you wear a smile. Wear a smile, that is a stroke to yourself. And wearing the smile gives me a related subject, not directly with this one. I developed a habit for the past 10 years. In the road when I drive, if somebody cuts me, a car, a pedestrian, a two-wheeler, notorious auto rickshaws, I deliberately give a smile. I look at the face of the other driver, give a smile. I feel better. He or she also feels so much better. So smile is very, very powerful. Anyway, I do not know that driver. I am not likely to meet again. And for what reason he or she is driving mad or driving incorrectly, or I may be driving incorrectly, not the other person. There is no driver who is average or below average. Every driver is above average. What is average? So this again comes in to our culture again. Our families discourage expressing I love. We are stingy about expressing love, though we deeply feel. So we have to overcome the stroke economy, work very well, improve our emotional health, self-esteem, interpersonal relationship, free and open exchange, communication, bonding. We can all express. We can correct it continuously with an action feeling statement. When this happens, I feel, you did not wish me in the morning, I felt like this. Or you scolded me, I felt this. Action, feeling, statement, very, very clearly expressing to the other person what action led to what feeling. It is not thinking. Thinking is deliberate. Feeling is automatic. You cannot say, no, you should not feel. No, I'm feeling that. You can say, don't think like that. Correct your thinking, which will ultimately change the feeling. That is okay. But if I'm feeling, I'm feeling. So we have to take responsibility, admitting our mistake, apologizing sincerely, asking and granting forgiveness, love at the center of all the relationship, honesty and trust, no power playing, respecting other feelings, make amends, love yourself, others, and truth. So I will stop here. We'll be glad to discuss this further. Thank you so much.